Hi, I'm Tim Conrad, Public Information Officer with the Cariboo Regional District. I'm here with Mike McCulley with the BC Wildfire Service. We're going to give you a bit of an update on a number of things here today. First off, the weather.
Thanks, Tim. So yeah, I'll start with the weather, but first just a fact. I would like to tell folks that to date we have had 825,000 hectares of land impacted by wildfire just within the Cariboo Fire Center alone. That is roughly 1.5 times the size of Prince Edward Island, just to put that into context. So now over to the weather. Obviously we have had a cold front come through the area. There has been some rain and precipitation in the Williams Lake area. Not so much out west though. We are seeing increased winds out there as we predicted. We did have some moisture through the top part of the Cariboo Fire Center, a fair bit out in the northeast. Unfortunately, we did have some lightning with that as well. So up in this portion, we've seen lightning strikes, and our crews will be watching that very closely. What we can expect for the weather going forward is through today and tonight, we'll see that winds continue to increase, which is going to cause growth on many of our fires, particularly out to the west. Again, around Williams Lake, we're feeling fairly comfortable with those fires, but these fires are going to continue to grow. Beyond the cold front, we are looking at another warm and drying trend. I mean, we are by no means out of fire season yet, so we need folks to really pay attention to that and stay diligent, and unfortunately, we are going to see some growth out west.
Okay, and so give us an update on Elephant Hill.
Yeah, certainly. So the Elephant Hill fire, a very large fire, again, 170,000 hectares in size. That is the combined size of Edmonton, Lethbridge, and Calgary altogether, just to give people some context. Still a very large and challenging fire in the northern portion, particularly on the eastern side. We have been using air tankers through the last few days if we can, water skimmers, and our crews are out there working really hard to try to get some containment again on these top edge of this fire, but large, dangerous, and active, and we really need people to stay out of the area so our crews can keep working. Same story on that one, unfortunately.
So we've also had some changes to some orders that have happened. So in and around Kleena Kleene, that area, as well as up in the NASCO area, there was an expansion of this area. So there's an expansion in the order there, so stay tuned for any changes to alerts and orders over the next 24 hours. Keep an eye on the Cariboo Regional District website as well. You can sign up for emergency notifications through the website, and we highly recommend you do that. So, but do tell us about Kleena Kleene and what's been going on there.
Yeah, absolutely a challenging fire for us again because of the weather. We're seeing no precipitation down here and winds gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour. We did see a lot of growth last night and through the day as well. We know that that fire is going to continue to challenge the highway corridor, Highway 20, and the communities around, hence the recommendation for a change to the order. We will see similar things happening up on the northern portion of this fire. And I just remind folks that these fires very soon will be joined together on our website. They will be called the Plateau Fire. We're going to try to formalize that in the next day or two. You will see changes to the Fires of Note page on bcwildfire.ca, and just stay tuned and watch for that. Other fires in the area, I would like to talk a little bit about the Quesnel Lake fires. We have approximately 10,000 hectares of fire combined over this small portion here. The fire that is most visible will be fire 1348 down in the corner. It's a fire that we've been working very close with our industry partners on. The fire has good containment on the northwest and east sides, northwest and south sides. The eastern flank is going to creep and grow just a wee little bit, but for all of these fires up here, today and yesterday, we're seeing very calm fire behavior. Rank 1 fire, which is basically a slow creeping ground fire. We have our structural protection unit staff out there. We have 6 folks from Ontario working very hard with the landowners to try to make sure that the properties along the lake are protected, and we're going to keep putting some effort in there. Beyond that, starting tomorrow, we will have 10 BC firefighting crews. These are contract crews that we use. We're going to have those out working in that area as well, just to try to ramp up our abilities, and we're going to continue to support those crews and keep that under check. And on that note, I would just like to give a little bit of a shout out and a thank you to the contractors and equipment operators that work so hard with our organization every year. Extremely important. They're often the unsung heroes of the fire. They're behind the scenes, they're out on the fire line working really hard every day to protect the communities, and we would be at a huge loss without them. So very proud to work side by side with those folks, and just wanted to say thank you on that note.
Yeah, and I know when we've been up in the helicopter, you've pointed them out to me. There's quite a few of them out there, so thank you very much for all of those folks. So tell us about the cooler weather that we're having and the rain, and does it impact the fires, and does it just put them out or magically, or is it?
Yeah, certainly not the case, Tim, and we'll talk about the Swift Lake fire as an example. We know again up in the north here we've had some rain, probably up to 10 millimeters. Fortunately for us, the fire behavior has been calm. The Swift River fire, my apologies, though it still remains about 19 kilometers from Barkerville and Wells. We're very comfortable that that fire isn't growing in the last few days. It's staying within the perimeter, so to speak. So that's a good news story. But in terms of the weather, when you get rain like this, 5 to 10 millimeters, it really helps to calm the sort of wet down the fine fuels. Fine fuels being anything smaller than the size of your finger, I guess. But it takes a lot more rain than this to really reduce the drought codes and moisten those deep, heavy fuels in the ground that are causing so much challenges on these big fires. So what we would ask people is to please stay on high alert. Pay attention to the evacuation orders and alerts. I'll tell you that over 52% of this whole entire caribou is either under order or alert right now. That's a very significant amount. That's something that people should watch closely. As we go forward, we are by no means done with fire season. We expect the warm drying trend to come into play very soon after these cold fronts move through. The drought is still there, the fires are still out, so we need people to pay very close attention to the backcountry travel restrictions, the off-road vehicle restrictions. We know it's challenging. We thank you for your patience, but we really need you to do that. We have had lightning in the area today and over the last week. We desperately need our crews available to go deal with these lightning-caused fires so they stay small. We just can't afford to have any more human-caused fires. So thank you to the public for that. Thank you for your patience, and hang in there. Please stay diligent. We got a long ways to go yet, and thanks for your support.
Yeah, and it's extremely important. We can't stress that enough. We know that it's been a long time without being able to safely get in and do those activities that you're used to doing, but we really need your patience here to help all these folks that are out there fighting those fires. You can see the fire map is very full, and we don't want it to be getting any more full than what it is right now. So please take the time to not go out into the woods and possibly cause another fire. So thanks very much, Mike. Anything else?
No, that's it for today, Tim. Tomorrow we'll focus a little more on some specifics. We should have some more information on what the plateau fire looks like. And again, just pay attention to the weather. We're in for some wind, and that will challenge our fire lines. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow.